So, hello everybody. Glad to see you all online this time of the night for the South Africans. Normally, if you're online this time in South Africa, you're a late night bird or you're probably trading. So, exciting times for all of us. The markets are doing some very, very strange and interesting things. Some of it predictable and some of it unpredictable. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through a list of things that are important as for traders. For some of you, you know some of these things, others you haven't considered any of this yet. So I am going to ask you to write a few things down that we're going to discuss. If you have to wait for the recording and go over it again, you might miss out. So I would highly suggest you write this down. So as a part of the TradingView series, I'm going to present from the entry level to slightly more advanced trading view usage. If you're not using TradingView, you probably just what the ladies say, knit one, skip one. You're really not doing too great with your trading because you don't have the right tools. Having the right tools in the market is such an important thing. Obviously, if you guys have done the courses, you especially lately, then you have the right tools and you can always go back to the channel and watch the videos again. So some of the stuff will make sense to you tonight as we discuss these different things. So let's start with protection first. Strangely enough, that when you even start a website these days, you have to add protection embedded into your website. My wife, Nelda, she had built a website recently. She didn't know that she had to put in an extra plug-in with protection. And of course, somebody hacked the website and it said, hacked by Mr. Green. And he just wiped her website out. So all that work for nothing if she had not created some form of backups. Same with being on the internet. When you're on the internet, you want to be safe. So for those of you who do not have a proper paid version of antivirus, well, you are just playing with fire. You're just like, okay, I'm going to stop drinking, but I'm going to go and stand at the door of the bar every night. You're not going to succeed. All right, so you need, secret number one is to have a paid antivirus. I don't know which one is the best because you go onto different sites and different sites give you different names. I'm using the Nod 32. It's called Nod 32 or ESET, and that one is working well for me. I'm using, in conjunction with the antivirus, I'm using Super Anti-Spyware, which does, and I'm using the paid version, which does scans for me every day. It saves me time from actually physically doing the scan. What happens is traders' computers get slow very quickly because of all of these strange things that come onto the computer and consumes, slows your computer down, and potentially can steal your passwords. Secret number two, if you've got an i3 or a Celeron laptop or desktop, I don't suggest that. You rather use your cell phone. We'll actually go into that right in a few minutes' time. i5 is a better. I5 is basically double the speed that an I3 is, and an I7 is double, at least 3 or 4 times the speed that an I5 is. So if you're considering buying a desktop or a laptop, then an I5 and I7 is the way to go. If you have an i7 with a solid state hard drive, I would suggest that very good. My current laptop that I'm using is pretty new. It's about 6 months old, but I don't have a solid state hard drive in it, and it slows down quite a lot. My desktop performs even better because I've got a desktop with a graphics card in. So your graphics card in a desktop really works a lot better than an i7 laptop. But get a solid state hard drive, and if you want to go one better, get a gaming laptop. A gaming laptop is actually the way to go if you can afford it. Secret number 3 is have a very good internet. I would suggest 5 to 10, but 10 or more megabits per second, because that's an ideal speed. That means you can have several screens open at once. Trading consumes data. Those graphs continuously changing consumes a lot of data, and you don't want to miss the market because your screen is moving slower than the market. So it doesn't help to be a tortoise in a fast moving market. Secret number 4, to have a second screen or have more screens. So second or more screens. Cell phone is better than most laptops. So if you're using an entry-level laptop and you have a smartphone, let's say one of the top medium to higher models of iPhone or Android phones, you have a better model, better option than those entry-level laptops. You would trade a lot better on them. There are very few tablets that can actually trade. So when it comes to tablets, it needs to be a quad-core processor. Use a cell phone as an extra screen. Sometimes people have cell phones lying around. You get very nice cell phone stands that you can put next to your laptop and put the screen dimness to, let's say, 10 minutes or higher if possible, and you can watch more than one screen at a time. Secret number 7, stick to your times. Stick to the times of the day that you're going to trade. And be disciplined to stick to those times. Don't just, whenever you get a chance, because then you're not serious about trading. Do your housekeeping. Your housekeeping, for all of you know that the housekeeping is probably the way you determine whether you're making your money or not. You're going to need a calculator when you do your housekeeping. You're not using a calculator, and maybe let's say you're doing penny stocks. It's easy with penny stocks to not need a calculator because you're going from $1 or one digit to the next, and you're making profit between 1 and 2 and 5 and 6 and 10 and 11 satoshis. But whenever you're trading, let's say Bitcoin or Litecoin or any of these cryptocurrencies, you need a calculator. When you're trading something that like US dollars to Bitcoin or US dollars to Euro, whatever you're trading, you need a calculator. You need to make sure that you're making profits. Secret number 9, alarms. So a lot of us have never used any alarms before, and alarms is a very important thing because you're not glued in front of the screen all the time. I know some of you love trading and you want to be in front of the screen all the time. You don't want to miss a beat. You don't want to miss an opportunity. But the top suggestion is called Trex Tracker. It's for Android phones. Blockfolio you can use on iPhone. So Trex Tracker is a Bittrex tracking software that you can load on your phone. Blockfolio you can load on your phone. All phones, including iPhones, can use Blockfolio. You can check the coin and place as many alarms as you want. Then TradingView, as I'll show you just now, also has an alarm system which you can set. But you need to remember this. Don't close the app, or don't close the TradingView and think you're going to get the alarm. Your computer has to be on. Your apps have to be open for those alarms to be heard. What's the use of placing alarms and then switching off your phone, or closing the app, or switching down your laptop? So, secret number 10, understanding market cycles. Now, maybe some of you this will be maybe a wake-up call to you, maybe it won't be important, but I've told people, whenever you go in and join some new scheme or some money-making thing or whatever in January, you know the markets cycle low from January to March. So when we work from solstice to equinox, that is a down cycle in the market. And it's very obvious. I don't need to prove anything to you that the markets are moving down, especially the world markets. We've seen a 20% drop in the Dow Jones earlier, just a few days ago, because markets cannot go up when they should be going down. That's like false market cycles. So they have to come down. They have to take dips. So remember, there are market cycles, and the market cycle moves between solstice and equinox, up and down, and we will know that from the 21st of March onwards, the markets are going to treat us well if we are patient. And if you are trading upwards only now, you are in for a big surprise. Secret number 11, check the Chinese calendar. Chinese calendar tells you a lot about the days and the cycles, and we know some days we just need to take off. Take the day off. Secret number 12, check time frames. So, checking the time frames just means that if you're trading a 15-minute chart, or a 30-minute chart, or a 1-hour chart, or a 1-day chart, you see different pictures. So people that are zoomed in on a 15 or a 5-minute or a 30-minute chart might react or overreact, whereas somebody's got a 1-day chart will say, no, I'm willing to wait. I'm not going to panic on this one. So that's what we're going to do with the training on TradingView. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to TradingView and show some graphs. And for those of you, I think most of you have already signed up with TradingView. We'll have to see. I've sent the links out already, so let's just get the screen up. Okay. If you have any questions, I have answered Anya's question. The name of the antivirus I've put there, so you're welcome to. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to log out of my TradingView. All right, so there's my TradingView. I'm just going to show you remove all indicators, remove all drawings. This is the Dow Jones. I'm going to just put it on a one-day graph so that you folks can see. Right, so you can see that the Dow Jones has done pretty awesomely for a while. And when I say for a while, it's been over a period of years. So since the recession, the end of the recession, 2009, it has been on an upward trend from 6,400 all the way to 29,000 points. So each and every stock exchange has a point system. And that point system is basically a rating. It's a rating based on that market and all its sub-markets. So each point system, the market itself has a point system. So if you go to the Shanghai Stock Exchange, the JSE Stock Exchange, in fact, the JSE is just the opposite of what we see now. The JSE has been falling for probably 2 years. That's serious. Very, very, very serious. South Africans don't realize how serious this matter is of the exchange. But let's quickly get to a market. Like you can see now, this is a one-day chart. On the top of the screen, you will see there's lines there, there's information there. Okay, it's not giving me what I'm looking for, so let's quickly, at the top, you'll see there says compare, indicators, financials, template, alert, replay. And then there's some different indicators on the left, different tools on the left and on the top. On the indicators, that's what traders are often more excited about. I want to put indicators, I want to see the Bollinger Bands, I want to see RSI, I want to see parabolic. There's a lot of indicators that you can use. But our most important tool when looking at the markets is this tool here on the left. So this tool here, what I'm going to do is, you see it looks like a little magic wand or a line with two bumps on each side. I want to click on this, and this line shows me that different kinds of lines. So each one of them has a pop-out menu. You can see pop-out menu, pop-out menu. So I'm going to go back to, this is called a trend line. So I want a free flow trend line. And to the right, you see there, it highlights, says add to favorites. So if I click in that box, in the favorites box, it actually adds this as a favorite, so that I can at any point of time use this tool without looking for it again. Right, so on the top left, you see it's highlighted there as a favorite. I often use a horizontal line also, so I click that as a favorite. I will click a vertical line as a favorite. So a horizontal and vertical and just a trend line. So whenever traders are teaching you how to trade, they will teach you different places where the market slow down or bounce up and down horizontal lines. But we are now interested in this first one, the trend line, and we want to draw a line in the direction that the market is going up. So you click where you want to start and you click where you want to end. That is now, if you want to draw, let's say, a support line. A support line always entails, especially a major support line, a bottom and a bottom. Two bottoms, that's all you want. You must touch two bottoms. So this trend line is a very useful tool so that you can see in what direction the market is going. The market obviously changed direction there. There's a new support line. So with TradingView, you want to click again on the trend line, the bottom and the bottom. Sorry, that is a little off. So I know when I make a mistake, I can correct it by clicking inside those little circles. And there's a bottom there. All right, so I've got two major support lines. There's the first support line, there's the second support line. All right, so what is this market going to do? Well, when you see two support lines going one like this, you might see another one, another one over the next year or two. So I believe that this market would go probably a lot higher after it's recovered, unless with what's happening in the market would force it down to this point here. But the market fell from almost 30,000 points all the way to 24,700 points. That is like a 20% drop in a matter of 7 days. And that was on a market cycle, the new moon to the first quarter recovery. If I want to draw in a horizontal line, there's a horizontal line. I want to find some support lines. Okay, you can't do this on this. So I'm going to change this. Let's go to the South African JSE. And we're going to see on the one-day graph, the JSE has fallen from 20,000 to 9,500 points. So it's fallen more than 50%. I wouldn't want to be on the JSE. Not now. But I want to find, if I had to take that support line, you see there's a bottom, there's a bottom, there's a bottom. There's a bottom, there's a bottom. So I want to take a place where I can get the most points, most places where the market hit and change direction. I could probably take this as a support line right here. And that would be an interesting support line, because it would be showing that this will become a resistance line. So if the price goes below the support line, that then becomes a resistance line. And we are wary of, and we know that it's going to struggle to get higher when it gets to that place again. So it would be a very difficult market to trade because of the different places where it made reversals. Let's take a look at the horizontal line. So horizontal line, remember I've added it here. So that's important to know. I've added the horizontal line. And I'm saying, why am I using a horizontal line? I might use horizontal lines to determine points of change of direction. So 18th of January, 4th of April, 3rd of July, 28th of September, etc., etc. So these would be determining points from lows to highs. And you say, all right, well, how long did it take from there to there? How long did it take from there to there? Right. Let's use one of the markets that a lot of our traders are familiar with, and I'm going to use the Litecoin to Bitcoin markets. Right. I'm going to use the Bittrex graph. And Litecoin is one of the most popular coins to trade at the moment, besides what Bitcoin is trading to the US dollars. And it's more profitable to trade Litecoin than it is to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is obviously movements are less in a day than Litecoin. So if Bitcoin goes up 10%, Litecoin will go up 20%. The opposite is also true. If Bitcoin drops 10%, Litecoin will drop 20%. So it might be even a nice one to trade in between the lines. Right, so I'm just going to remove all the remove the drawings, and I'm going to show you how profitable it, okay, look at that there. That was hectic. But how profitable this coin is to trade. So looking at this market over here, these markets just look so much better than Bittrex. You won't be able to see so much information on a Bittrex graph, because the Bittrex graph is actually put this in a rectangle and it doesn't show you as much detail. So my first important tool is definitely my trend line tool when I'm determining market directions, and I want to draw in as many support and resistance lines as possible. I'm going to draw them from there to there, there to there, there to there. But the purpose of the training is not about how to use the tools, but how to use the platform. And then once I've determined that, my support and resistance lines, remember I'm doing this now on a one-day graph. So I can change this one-day graph to 30 minutes. And then I can zoom it back just to show more information. And here's a nice thing about this is on the right-hand side, you can see different ups and downs here. So I'm going to put my mouse on the right-hand side of the screen on those numbers and left click, hold the mouse in the left click button and drag this graph that it squashes it a little bit. If I want to show this as more hectic graph, I will pull it up. And then if this is now out of my screen here at the top, I will left click in the space and drag it around. So first one is up and down, left click, hold the left click in, and second one is left click in somewhere in the graph, and you can move the graph around. Now, on a 30-minute graph, I want to then draw in some more support and resistance lines. I want to see what this market is doing. So there's a high there. There's a high there. And you just move your lines until they're in the right place. If you don't want the line, you can left click on the line, right click and remove. So you click on the line, right click, and you'll see there's a remove button. When you remove, it disappears. You don't see it no more. Every time you want to draw a line, you're going to have to click on that box. This is good practice. If I didn't see the rest of this graph and it was like this, I would have drawn a line from there to there. I would have seen there's a parallel movement in Litecoin, Bitcoin. Obviously, it's dropped below the support line, it's broken support, and it needs to recover again. I can draw another line from there. Sorry, this is throwing me all over the place. From there, that top to that top. I can draw another one from that top to that top. From there to there. I could have drawn one from there to there also, and then there to there. So there are numerous lines that you can draw in. My next tool I'm going to use, this is now 30-minute graph. I want to change my 30-minute. You see this, you click on 30M, and you'll go down, it says 4 hours. You want to click on there. And that's what you see. If you want to take any of these indicators off or any of the tools off, you just right click in the screen somewhere. You say remove drawings, click left click on that. I don't have indicators yet, so let me add an indicator. So I see there's indicators, and with the indicators, you have a whole list of indicators. Let's click on Bollinger Bands, one of my favorites. And let's say those Bollinger Bands aren't doing it for me. It's like just too light. Then I'll go back to indicators, click again on Bollinger Bands, click again on Bollinger Bands. Okay, this you will only be able to do with a pro account, because what happens is when you get to 3 indicators, then it doesn't want to allow you to do any more. So that's a 4-hour graph. A 4-hour graph tells me the price has come down, it's going sideways. What is a 30-minute graph tells me? It says, let's have a look. All right, up and down, going sideways. Obviously, there's a resistance line that it has to reach soon. Let's use 15-minute, not 15 minutes, 15 seconds. 15 minutes shows a totally different picture. So I can then make it a little bit more dramatic, show where these resistance lines are coming through, and I can draw in some new support lines. So I'm going to draw a line from there to there, so that I can see this is definitely going to go up there or down there in the next 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours. It has to go further up or go further down. So there's my Bollinger Bands, and then I'm going to add another indicator. Let's say I'm going to add parabolic, Okay, sorry, I've actually signed out. That's why it's giving me these. Let me sign back in again. I've sent you the link to getting signed up. Let me just sign in. All right, let me add. See, on my indicators, I have then. Okay, it's still busy signing me in. Reload the page. Right. Any questions you guys want to ask while I'm busy? Just write a question down. I'll answer it as I go. All right. So it takes me back to the Dow Jones. So there's my indicators. I also have marked the favorites. So just like you have favorites here, and you mark them in those boxes, those favorites stay there. See, these are my favorites at the moment because I have these different tools that I want to use. So if I want to use a Fibonacci, and I click on Fibonacci, it immediately gives me the tool to put a Fibonacci, and I can see why the price is doing what it's doing right now and what it possibly will do over the next few hours. That's why there's so much chaos between these lines at the moment. So that's a Fibonacci. Right, so that's taken the indicators away. And let me add, you see there is called relative strength index. So the RSI actually squashes the markets a little bit, but it gives you how strong the market is and where it's going. And what's interesting is for those who are more advanced traders, you can actually use your support and resistance lines on your RSI. So you can actually draw lines on the RSI to determine different things and see the wedges that form and the wedge that's busy forming now, which seems like it's going to go further up again. So this is a useful tool. So we have now the trend line tools. You can use any of those. You can make it a ray or just an arrow. So you want an arrow, you just click on the arrow. You want to show somebody something, you click on the arrow and you show them. Then you can add the text or the text box, and you can put there sorry. Okay, I was supposed to type in there. Let's just put the text again. I'll just put the arrow. I want to get rid of the one that says text. I just right click on it and say remove. And then I can always move this around. That's the arrow. Then you've got different tools you can use here. You won't need to worry about them now. They're not that important. So you get the next one is all the date ranges. I like to use a date range and a time range, date and price range. You click date and price and say, all right, from let's say bottom to top, 26 bars, 4 days kind of thing. So you can then use that and drag that to different time frames and see how relevant it was for different time frames, especially when you're doing a lot of market analysis. You change your minutes over here at the top, 4 hours, see 4 hours at a time, see 1 day at a time. You can add on the 1 day Bollinger Bands tell you a lot. So you can see that Bollinger Band on the Dow Jones shot up like that, and it's turning down. So the turning down part is where the scary part comes, because when the top of the Bollinger Band starts turning down, guess what happens? It's not finished its fall yet. All right. No, that wasn't a joke. You can compare your markets. You can compare, I can say, all right, I want to see, let's say, the gold price compared to the Dow Jones. Let's just get rid of this RSI. So you see the gold price has gone up together with the Dow Jones, but it has actually gone further up. So in some places, it actually did the opposite of what the Dow Jones was doing. All right, so you can layer other charts over there just to see how they compare to each other. It's like when you do Litecoin to Bitcoin, or you do gold to silver, you can see a lot of similarities between the graphs. Great. There are other tools like Zoom and Magnet Mode, Drawing Mode, especially when you use the brush tool. See this one here? Brush. I can use a brush to draw on my screen to demonstrate certain actions. And then smile a little bit. Smile, folks. This particular box here in the top left is where I choose which market I want. So if I say I want Bitcoin to US dollars, I choose, you see it says Bitstamp, Coinbase, Bitfinex, Gemini, Bybit, Bittrex. Say I want, because I'm trading on Bittrex, I'm going to use this. And there is all my lines I've been drawing on Bittrex. Support and resistance, etc., determining a whole lot of different things. So the most important things for all of you folks to remember is you want to start, your indicators are all here. You can choose the indicators and highlight or put a little click on the star of each indicator you want to use. Remember, more indicators make you more confused. So use the indicators that work for you, that make you happy, and make you understand what the market trends are. When to buy, when to sell. I mean, for a 1 day graph, using an RSI on a 1 day graph is like, it's almost giving you all the answers. At this point here, when it left look there, sold, good place to sell, good place to sell, good place to sell. But that didn't mean you couldn't buy back there and buy back there. So the RSI is a very, very good tool to use. So that is, you get financials, but this is like stuff that's only for people that are doing a lot of bookkeeping on their graphs. So you want to say, all right, on this platform I've got so much, on that platform I've got so much, and you can actually do your financials inside here. Indicators, I'm using all of these indicators. I'm using moon phases. I'm using a friend of mine's plug-in, which helps you see good buy and sell options in the market. See there, it shows 3 times. In fact, 2 red lines was a good indicator to sell. It hasn't given a buyback signal, which is interesting. Although a lot of them, it's almost better to know when to sell than when to buy. When to buy is the easiest thing. When to sell is the hardest thing. All right, then we've got the trend lines, different lines. We've got different boxes and gain fans, and this is stuff for the advanced traders. We will spend some time for those who've done the secondary, third courses, and very useful tools. Text box, patterns, you like Elliott waves and all that sort of thing, cyclic patterns, short position, price range, you've seen projection, and then of course these little icons and stuff you can use to draw on the screen. But those aren't important, you would hardly ever use them. But if you want to get rid of all your tools or your indicators on the screen, you'll see you right click on your screen, click on remove drawings, right click again, remove all indicators, and it gives you a clean chart, a clean slate to start off with. All right. Are there any questions from you folks at this point of time? Anything you want to discuss? See, there's a nice cup there, handle, and then the extension that happened afterwards. We actually seen this on the silver and gold markets at the moment, especially the silver markets that we got involved in now recently, is that it's making this cup, which price will go up to probably 60 to 80 US dollars in the next while. Okay, please can you put the 12 secrets on the screen? All right, let's go through the 12 secrets again quickly. In the meantime, anybody that's got any other questions, let's quickly see if you can see that. Okay, you should be able to see that. So let's go back. Secret 1, have an antivirus, a good antivirus program. Paid version. Number 2, go for an i7 or i7 with a solid state hard drive. Number 3, have a good internet connection. Number 4, have at least 2 or more screens. Even if you can't afford, I mean, even a little monitor or your flipping TV. Yeah. Tell your wife, your husband, or whoever, you don't need the TV now. You're going to use it for a screen. Just get an HDMI cable, plug it in. I'm joking, they're going to give you a hard time. But if you show them you're making money, they might not mind. You can buy them another screen. Cell phone is better than most laptops. So if you've got an Intel Celeron or i3, you might as well trade on your phone. Especially if it's a newer version. Any quad-core processor phone is 5, 6, 7 times faster than those laptops. Use a cell phone screen as an extra screen. There's very nice little cell phone stands that you can buy and put it on a little stand and watch that screen. Stick to the times that you're going to trade. Do your housekeeping. Use your calculator. It's important to use your calculator. place alarms on Trex Tracker, Blockfolio, TradingView. Okay, I haven't shown you the TradingView. I'm going to show you that now. So thanks for that reminder. Understand market cycles, markets ups and downs. Even the month has its cycles. So we saw how the Dow Jones, even the Bitcoin price fell after the new moon, rose to the new moon, fell after the new moon. So sticking to the times just means you check which times are the ideal times for the market, check the Chinese calendar, or just stick to certain times of the day. So like when you, after you've woken up, before you go to bed, those are the two best times to check your trades. But stick to them. Don't be trade for 1 day, skip 2 days, trade another day, skip 3 days, because then you're going to lose out in the market. Check the Chinese calendar and check the time frames. So whether you're trading a 15-minute looks totally different to a 1-day graph, and that's why it's so important for traders to make their decisions based on that. So let me see if I can share my screen again. All right, so I've got the Bitcoin US dollar graph now. If let's say I want to place an alarm up or down. So let's say I'm going to zoom it in a little bit, get it on a 30-minute. Let's get it on a 15-minute graph. And then you see, I put my mouse to the right, and you see there's a little plus sign next to the number. That little plus. So if I click on that plus, it says add alert. I click on add alert. You see there's a little arrow there now, and there's a red line. I'm going to click just below, add alert, and it adds an alert. So depending on what plan you're using, it will allow you a certain amount of alerts. So that whenever the price hits any of your target prices, then you know. You can check the screen and see what action you need to take. And normally if you've placed multiple trades down, multiple trades up, that only means you just need to go and do your housekeeping. All right. Any more questions from you folks? You're welcome to ask. We have a few minutes left. And yeah, thanks for attending. I will be placing this online for viewing afterwards so that everybody can become a better trader. Just general, the markets are definitely slowly but surely picking up, but the 9th is probably, what's it, on Monday? Yeah, the 9th is a full moon. We'll probably see some highs again on between Sunday and Monday, and maybe some drops in the new week. Let's see. As far as the Dow Jones and the JSE are concerned, I don't see much good things happening there in the next few days. It seems like there's definitely a volatility in the markets, and we can take advantage of the volatility. Make sure always that you have your buy orders lower and lower and lower. Your US dollar is now going to be important to you for the dips. Rather go more 50% in Bitcoin and 50% in US dollar, or 50% Litecoin 50% US dollar, and make money on the volatility, make money on the ups and downs. Stop thinking that the market is going to go up. Stop thinking that the market is going to go down. Think the market's going to go up and down. How can I benefit from this? Great. Hope you folks have a great evening, because it must be evening or close to evening for you folks in America. Awesome. Good night and good afternoon, everybody. Great. Thank you. BTC USD or USD BTC, it's BTC USD. So if you type in the top, let's say I'm putting let's say I'm going to say USD BTC. I see there's no market for that. It's just swap them around, say BTC USD, and then you have all the options pop up. Great, folks. We'll do another session probably sometime next week, but hope to see you back soon. Cheers. Great.